General Hospital will reveal Brandon Barish's return as Johnny Zakra shakes up General Hospital recently. The official confirmation of Brandon Barish returning as Johnny Zakra on General Hospital has sent shockwaves through the fan community. After years of absence, Johnny, one of Port Charles's most ruthless and complex villains, is set to make a dramatic comeback, promising to stir up chaos in the town's temporarily fragile peace. Johnny's history is one of violence, transformation, and internal conflict. Fans will recall his shocking decision to kill his own father, Anthony Zakra, a defining moment that marked his transition from a misguided young man to a cold-blooded figure willing to do whatever it took to secure his position. His storyline was one of tragedy and ambition, and now, with his return, the stakes have never been higher. With Cyrus Renault recently eliminated and Sidwell yet to make a significant impact, Johnny Zakra emerges as the unpredictable force that could shatter the delicate balance of power in Port Charles. While the town enjoys a brief respite from criminal turmoil, the underworld is far from dormant. Johnny's reappearance raises many questions. Will he attempt to rebuild the Zakra empire, or will he forge new alliances to ignite another turf war? Barish's return is not just a thrilling development for General Hospital's storyline but also an exciting moment for longtime fans who have been eager to see him reprise his iconic role. With Johnny back in Port Charles, who will become his next target? Who will dare to stand against him? And most importantly, can anyone stop a relentless and vengeful Johnny Zakra? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain, General Hospital is about to enter a storm like never before. As Sonny Corinthos faces serious health issues, a potential heart attack could leave him vulnerable, creating the perfect opportunity for Johnny Zakra to re-establish himself as a dominant force in Port Charles's underworld. For years, Sonny has ruled the city's criminal network with an iron grip, but if his physical condition deteriorates, the balance of power could shift in ways no one expected. With Cyrus Renault eliminated and Sidwell yet to make a lasting impact, Johnny sees an opening to rise from the shadows and reclaim control, reshaping the criminal hierarchy in his own vision. Johnny has always been a complex figure, torn between his desire to break free from his family's violent legacy and his instinct for survival in the dangerous world he was born into. In the past, he tried to distance himself from the ruthless nature of his father, Anthony Zakra, but time and circumstances hardened him into a man willing to do whatever it takes to get ahead. His calculated decision to kill his own father was proof of his ability to be as cold-blooded as any crime lord in Port Charles. Now, with Sonny possibly sidelined, Johnny has a golden opportunity to consolidate power, recruit new allies, and expand his influence in ways he never could before. This sudden shift in power does not go unnoticed, especially by those determined to protect the city from falling into chaos. Anna Devane, with her extensive experience dismantling criminal organizations, will undoubtedly see Johnny's resurgence as a serious threat. Having dealt with the Zakra family in the past, she knows how dangerous he can be when left unchecked. Meanwhile, Dante Falconeri, Sonny's son and a dedicated detective, finds himself in a difficult position. His history with Johnny has been complicated, once adversaries, then reluctant allies, and now, potentially, enemies once again. If Johnny moves forward with his plans, Dante will be faced with a moral dilemma. How far is he willing to go to stop a man he once saw as more than just a criminal? For Sonny, the stakes couldn't be higher. Though he has survived countless threats over the years, this time, he may not have the strength to fight back as he once did. His enemies know he is vulnerable, and Johnny isn't the type to show mercy. Will Sonny's allies step up to protect his empire, or will Johnny finally take the throne that once seemed out of reach? With a new power struggle on the horizon, old rivalries will reignite, alliances will be tested, and no one in Port Charles will be safe from the storm that Johnny Zakra is about to unleash. Johnny Zakra's return is not just the reappearance of a formidable villain, it is the catalyst for a dramatic shift in Port Charles, bringing both dangerous power struggles and deeply emotional confrontations. With his unexpected comeback, the fragile balance that has kept the city's criminal world in check is suddenly at risk, and Johnny's presence threatens to reshape both the underworld and the lives of those who once knew him. However, beyond the battle for dominance in Port Charles, his return also reignites one of the most tragic and forbidden romances in General Hospital's history, the love story between Johnny and Lulu Spencer. Years ago, Johnny and Lulu were deeply drawn to each other despite the overwhelming obstacles that stood in their way. Their love was passionate yet doomed, as their worlds were too different. Lulu, the daughter of one of Port Charles's most beloved families, and Johnny, the son of a ruthless crime lord. Though their relationship was filled with challenges, one thing remained constant: Johnny's unwavering devotion to Lulu. Even when circumstances tore them apart, he never truly stopped caring for her. Now, with Lulu finally waking up from her long coma, her future remains uncertain. The life she once knew has changed dramatically, and her relationship with Dante Falconeri, the father of her child, hangs in the balance. Johnny's return complicates things even further. Will he see Lulu's awakening as a second chance to be with the woman he never truly stopped loving? Or will his presence only serve to remind her of a past she cannot return to? If Johnny still harbors feelings for Lulu, he may try to reclaim what they lost, especially now that Dante's relationship with her is unclear. However, his reappearance could also send Lulu into an emotional tailspin, torn between her past and present. She has already endured immense hardship, and the prospect of revisiting old wounds with Johnny could force her to confront feelings she thought she had buried long ago. For Dante, the stakes couldn't be higher. As a dedicated detective, he cannot ignore the threat that Johnny poses to Port Charles, but as Lulu's ex-husband and someone who still loves her, he also cannot ignore the possibility that Johnny's return could reignite old feelings in her heart. If Johnny becomes a threat not just to the city but to Dante's personal life, the battle between them will not only be professional but deeply personal. How will Dante react if he finds himself losing Lulu to the very man he has sworn to stop? This love triangle, fraught with passion, heartbreak, and unresolved emotions, is set against the backdrop of Johnny's larger ambitions. If he is truly back to reclaim his place in Port Charles, he will have to decide if he is willing to risk everything for a second chance at love, or if his thirst for power will consume him before he ever gets the chance. Meanwhile, Lulu must find the strength to navigate the emotional storm his return will unleash, forcing her to decide whether she belongs to the past or if she is ready to move forward. With emotions running high and Port Charles on the brink of a power shift, Johnny's return is not just about vengeance or ambition, it is about unfinished business, both in the world of crime and in the world of love. The choices he, Lulu, and Dante make will set the course for their future, and the fallout will be unlike anything Port Charles has seen before. Brandon Barish's return as Johnny Zachara is not just a shocking revelation, it is a testament to the undeniable allure and impact of his character on General Hospital fans. For years, Johnny Zachara has remained one of the most intriguing, complex, and beloved antiheroes in Port Charles, and his absence only fueled anticipation for the day he might return. Now, that day has arrived, and the reaction from the GH community has been nothing short of electrifying. Fans have taken to forums, social media, and discussion groups, passionately speculating about how Johnny's return will alter the course of the show. Will he reclaim his criminal empire? Will he seek revenge? Or will he be drawn back into an old love that never truly faded? This return is far from a fleeting cameo, it is the beginning of a new era of intrigue, danger, and romance in General Hospital. The decision to bring Johnny Zachara back is not just about nostalgia, it is a deliberate move to reignite the spark of high-stakes storytelling, intertwining crime, betrayal, and passion into a narrative that promises to keep audiences on the edge of their seats. With GH continuously evolving and searching for fresh momentum, Johnny's return offers a game-changing opportunity to explore storylines that delve into old rivalries, unresolved conflicts, and unexpected alliances. One of the most exciting aspects of Johnny's return is the power vacuum in Port Charles's criminal underworld. With Cyrus Renault eliminated and Sidwell yet to establish dominance, the city is vulnerable to new leadership. Johnny, once reluctant to follow in his father's footsteps, may now see this as his moment to rise, proving that he is not just Anthony Zachara's son but a force of his own making. His intelligence, strategic mind, and willingness to do whatever it takes could reshape the underworld in ways no one expects. But will he reclaim his former status as a crime lord, or will his return bring about a different kind of redemption arc, one that challenges the very identity he once embraced? Beyond the battle for power, Johnny's return also reopens one of the most tragic and passionate love stories in GH history, his relationship with Lulu Spencer. Fans still remember their forbidden romance, a love that burned brightly but was doomed by their opposing worlds. Now, with Lulu waking up from her coma and her relationship with Dante Falconeri in question, Johnny may find himself drawn back to the one woman he never truly let go of. Will Lulu's heart remember the man who once risked everything for her, or will she be torn between her past with Johnny and her uncertain future with Dante? The emotional stakes are just as high as the physical ones, making Johnny's return a threat not just to the power structure of Port Charles but also to the hearts of those closest to him. Adding to the drama, Sonny Corinthos, Port Charles's reigning crime boss, is facing serious health issues, including the possibility of a heart attack. If Sonny weakens, Johnny could seize the moment, stepping in as a major player and capitalizing on his rival's vulnerability. However, such a move would not go unchallenged. Dante, Anna Devane, and even Jason Morgan, if he resurfaces, could be the one standing in Johnny's way. This creates an intense cat-and-mouse dynamic, where every decision Johnny makes could either cement his power or put a target on his back. With Brandon Barish officially confirming his return, it is clear that Johnny Zacra's comeback is not just a casual reappearance, it is a seismic shift for General Hospital. His presence will ripple through the criminal underworld, the police force, and the deeply interwoven relationships that define Port Charles. Fans can expect dark twists, explosive confrontations, and an unpredictable journey as Johnny steps back into the spotlight. Will he be the ultimate villain, a misunderstood antihero, or a man searching for redemption? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: General Hospital is about to enter one of its most thrilling chapters yet. Get ready to witness the return of one of Port Charles's most unforgettable villains, as Johnny Zacra steps back into the spotlight, shaking up the entire town in ways no one saw coming. His reappearance is not just another nostalgic comeback, it's a game-changing moment that will send shockwaves through General Hospital's most powerful figures. Fans have long speculated about what would happen if Johnny were to return, and now that moment has finally arrived. With so much at stake in the city's criminal underworld, its law enforcement, and even its deeply tangled romances, his presence will be impossible to ignore. The next chapters of General Hospital promise to be some of the most thrilling yet, and Johnny Zacra's return is at the very heart of it all. With the current power dynamics in Port Charles hanging by a thread, his arrival could be the spark that ignites a war, a romance, or even a new alliance that no one expects. His past is filled with bloodshed, betrayal, and a twisted sense of morality, making him one of the most fascinating characters to ever walk the streets of Port Charles. At his core, Johnny has always been a man torn between the world he was born into and the future he once wished for himself. The son of the infamous Anthony Zacra, Johnny once sought to distance himself from his father's ruthless legacy, but fate had other plans. Over time, he proved he was just as cunning, dangerous, and willing to do whatever it took to protect his interests. Fans will never forget his shocking decision to kill his own father, a move that solidified his place as a true force to be reckoned with. Now, years later, his return begs the question: what kind of man has he become? Is he here to reclaim the criminal empire that once belonged to the Zacra name, or is he driven by unfinished business, both personal and professional? Johnny's return comes at a time when Port Charles is already on edge. The downfall of Cyrus Renault has left a power vacuum in the city's underworld, one that has yet to be filled by a truly dominant force. While Sidwell has failed to make an impact, Johnny is a different kind of player, one with a past that demands respect, a reputation that instills fear, and an intelligence that allows him to strike when the time is right. If he decides to reclaim his place in the criminal hierarchy, it will not go unchallenged. Yet, the stakes are not just political, they are also deeply personal. One of the most intriguing aspects of Johnny's return is the unresolved love story between him and Lulu Spencer. Their forbidden romance was one of GH's most memorable, filled with passion, heartbreak, and impossible choices. While their love burned brightly, their opposing worlds made it impossible to last. Now, with Lulu finally waking up from her coma, her life is in flux. Her relationship with Dante Falconeri is uncertain, and Johnny's return could further complicate the matters of her heart. Will Johnny see Lulu's awakening as a second chance to rekindle their love, or will his presence only serve as a painful reminder of the past? With Dante still in the picture and likely wanting to rebuild his family with Lulu, Johnny's return could push him into a fight not just for his profession as a detective, but for the woman he still loves. This brewing conflict could turn personal, and if Johnny finds himself falling for Lulu again, it may drive him to fight for her just as fiercely as he fights for power in Port Charles. Meanwhile, Sonny Corinthos is at his most vulnerable. Years of stress, battles, and betrayals have taken their toll on him, and with whispers of a possible heart attack or worsening health condition, he may no longer be the indestructible force he once was. If Sonny weakens, Johnny has every reason to exploit the opportunity. Could he be the one to dethrone Sonny and claim Port Charles for himself? Or will Sonny find a way to fight back, despite his physical condition? Johnny Zacchara's return is not just about a man reclaiming his past, it's about a city that is about to be thrown into complete chaos. His presence will challenge the strongest figures in Port Charles, from the underworld kingpins to the law enforcement officials determined to take him down. Anna Devane, a woman who has spent years dismantling criminal organizations, will undoubtedly see Johnny as a renewed threat. Dante Falconeri will struggle between his duty as a detective and his personal vendetta against Johnny, especially if Lulu finds herself drawn to him once again. Even figures like Jason Morgan, if he resurfaces, could find themselves pulled into the impending war. One thing is certain, General Hospital is about to become more explosive, unpredictable, and thrilling than ever before. With Johnny Zacchara stepping back onto the canvas, old wounds will be reopened, new alliances will be tested, and the very foundation of Port Charles's power structure will be shaken to its core. This is not just the return of a character, this is the beginning of a new era, one that will change everything. Buckle up, because General Hospital is about to enter one of its most intense and unforgettable storylines yet.